Hey, what's up guys? Got another new video here for you. This is Bars Unlimited back with another reaction video. My name is Bryson, this is Steve, and we are back with yet another reaction video in the rap world. Today, we have Sa-Roc Forever. And this is a song that came out at least a handful of years ago, probably 2, 3, maybe even more than that, not really sure. But this is a song that I have heard before. As a matter of fact, I found it through a friend of mine, and then I saw a couple of YouTubers react to it and really just improved my appreciation for this song. I think it's really, really well done. The chick that it raps, it's a lady that raps. I think she does a killer job. It's really kind of a cool groove and everything. And it's just a great, meaningful song, and it's a message that I think needs to be pushed. You know, it's interesting to see somebody's perspective of somebody who's never heard it, and also somebody that doesn't really listen to this kind of music anyways, and see what they think of it, or if they look at it or get the same feeling from it that I do, as opposed to two dudes that, as a matter of fact, I'm the one that showed it to Jake. So he heard it because of me. Right. So, I mean, in essence, yeah, you know, before we had a reaction channel, that was me getting his reaction from it. But he knows the song, and so it was just not one that we prioritized getting to, because as you guys know, we can only meet up generally once a week, if that. Right. Me and Jake were only able to. So obviously, the new music, the song requests, the things we had never heard before, those are going to kind of take priority over a song that we both have heard that would just be fun to do. Right. So, not to say that we've never done that. If you guys remember Dear God by Dax, me and him had both heard that song before, and we did that one anyways. We're going to do Sa-Roc Forever today. To be completely honest, I've only heard 2 songs from Sa-Roc. Both of them I really enjoyed, and this is one of them. And I need to check out her albums and her music, especially after this one, because she's dope. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So maybe after reacting to it on here, it'll remind me how fire she is and make me want to do it again. But to be completely honest, I haven't listened to this song in a while, so I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, let's get it going.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing started. So, Sa-Roc Forever. Here we go.
When I wake up, no makeup, half naked, I feel like I'm the Pardon my language, but hang-ups do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are the laundry list of all of life's unkindnesses, but I still sip tea and chant on and live free, cause hardships and heartbreaks turn to rap epiphanies. And mom told me stay woke, cause all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, cause the all-knowing's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my thighs are little juicy, my dialogue little awkward, my idols still move me. My life is a movie, like Raheem and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My bamboo's accustomed to me, you'll be soon accustomed to me. This tomorrow, I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me, and my strength is now inhuman. I get that straight from my homie, signed and sealed from out the grill of yours and truly.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
I get healed.
So, you know, the first verse to me, not really too much in there that really jumped out at me, to be honest with you. You know, she did say, when I wake up, no makeup, half naked, I feel like I'm the shit. Pardon my language, but hang-ups do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are a laundry list of all of life's unkindnesses. That's a pretty cold line right there. You know, yeah. She's basically saying, like, you know, look at me, I'm not perfect, I got scars to prove it of, you know, some of the bad things both emotionally and maybe physically, that I've experienced in my life. And my body art is a laundry list of all of life's kindnesses. So, you know, just look at me and you can tell I've been through some stuff. Is essentially what that means. But, you know, I still sip tea and chant on and live free, because hardships and heartbreaks turn two rap epiphanies. I mean, I really like her flow, though.
Exactly. I mean, it's basically whatever happens in her life turns into a song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it sounds like what she's saying.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me more content to use.
Yeah.
For the next, you know, the next song I want to put out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a cool way of looking at it, you know. And she also said, and Mom told me stay woke, because all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, because the all-knowing's listening. Which, you know, I thought that was a pretty cool line, because, you know, that right there, that's another example, like I've said in past videos, of really saying a lot with really not saying much. Essentially what she's saying is stay alert,
Right.
you know, because all gold ain't glistening.
Well, it used to be the saying was all that glitters is not gold.
Well, yeah, that too.
So
and
it's
she's kind of
basically-
played
yeah.
with that and flipped it.
Right. She's trying to play off of that kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what she's doing there.
And then, of course, you know, the chorus is just awesome.
Yeah.
You better shine on 'em, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, because they gonna try and change your heart. Don't let them, because you're so damn fine just the way you are. Now, obviously, she's a girl singing, and she's singing to other females. Or she's rapping for other females, saying, you know, don't let the, you know, standards or anybody tell you that you're not beautiful the way you are, and that you're, you know, just a waste of space or anything like that.
No, I like the song so far. It's very good. It's got some nice flow to it.
Yeah.
Her
And like I
her
said,
lyricism is pretty good as well.
yeah, and like I said, the first verse was just alright to me. It gets only better from here,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, it really, in this second verse and stuff, it really, really, really picks up. And in the second verse especially is when there's a few lines in there that, like, wow, that's crazy. So, anyways, let's keep it going.
'Cause you're so damn fine, just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. 'Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her. 'Cause you're so damn fine, just the way you
I
are.
ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4 or 5 times a week on my mind, let me reciting affirmations like holy rights. I still don't know everything, but I guess confessions from 8 by 11s in studio sessions seem like it's only right. Trust me, this my therapy, your couch. Gonna work all these perfect times, funny silent me, shut your mouth. Touch me, I'm slaughtering crews, squads, goons, teams. The queen is coming to rule your region, coming for all of your, plus your house. I know it's heavy in me. No time for pretending. I was 14 years old, forcing pills down my throat, so my daily fat diminished. Still got these scars from cutting my wrist when I thought that life was finished. Now they remind me what my lows look like. Now I know the sky's the limit. Okay, never.
Oh man, that was so nasty right there. First of all, she said, I ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4 or 5 times a week with my mala beads, reciting affirmations like holy rights, and still don't know everything, but I guess confessions from 8 by 11s in studio sessions seem like it's only right. That's cool. You know, that, I mean, that's basically her recording. And she's like, hey, I ain't got all the answers, but, you know, this is kind of like how I get my feelings and stuff out there. But anyways, her flow throughout this whole verse is crazy, especially when she's like, touch me, I'm slaughtering crews, squads, goons, teams, the queen is coming for your region, coming for all your assets, what's your house? But anyway, after that is when it gets absolutely crazy. She said, I ain't always have it in me, no tolerance for pretending. I was 14 years old, forcing pills down my throat so my baby fat diminished. Still got the scars from cutting my wrists when I thought that life was finished. Now they remind me what my lows look like, now that I know the sky's the limit.
That's pretty powerful stuff. Right there.
That is beautiful.
I think she's just speaking to peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Is what she's speaking to.
Absolutely.
You know, she's speaking to the peer pressures that are, you know, what do they want women to look like? Oh, you can't have any fat. You gotta have a perfect body. You gotta have this and that and the other.
Yeah.
And you know, so that's what I think she's speaking to.
Absolutely.
More so than anything is just the peer pressures.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was really cool how she, you know, used the, you know, I cut my wrist you know, and all that kind of stuff too. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of the visual that gives you, you know, of what life was like was not good there for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she obviously tried to take her life or whatever, maybe more than once.
Yeah.
You know, but now the sky is the limit because
Yeah.
now she's turned that page where things are happening and boom.
Yeah, and they remind her of where she was and
Yeah.
how far she's come. I mean, just beautiful writing. Beautiful. That was so cool that she went there and said that, because the truth of the matter is that a lot of people go through that. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily have to be just women. In this case it was. But, you know, especially women, you know, the whole part about, you know, forcing pills down my throat so my baby fat diminished, you know, not everybody turns to pills, but, you know, there's anorexia and bulimia and stuff like that a lot of people deal with. And a good portion of them are women for the most part. And, you know, women in gymnastics and stuff like that, trying to, you know, keep thin and
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, not everybody turns to pills and cutting and stuff, but, you know.
No, the cutting happens after the pills aren't working,
Yeah, exactly.
and you get to a point where you just feel like there's no alternative.
Yeah.
You know, this was a really beautiful piece. This piece of the song, in my opinion, I agree. I mean, the visual that you get from the words that are being used really paints the whole picture, and it's an easy to see picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, very cool so far. Very impressed. So let's move on.
Yeah, and that's not the end of the verse. It gets, there's still one more earth-shattering bit.
Always have it in me. No time for pretending. I was 14 years old, forcing pills down my throat, so my baby fat diminished. Still got these scars from cutting my wrist when I thought that life was finished. Now they remind me what my lows look like. Now I know the sky's the limit. Okay, never claim to be perfect. That's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm working. That's the responsible thing. Spend half my life trying to find my life from outside sources. Why the only voice that mattered came from me.
You better shine.
Oh, wow. That whole thing right there. Never claimed to be perfect. That's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm worth it. That's a responsible thing. Spent half my life trying to find my light from outside sources, while the only voice that mattered came from me. That is just absolutely incredible. First of all, the biggest thing here is take the lyrics out of it. This is a song that I could really enjoy listening to regardless of the subject matter. I love her flow. The beat is good. And just the way that she's writing the beat, and it has a very catchy chorus. The way that she's singing or kind of, you know, dragging out notes, I guess. I don't know if you necessarily call it singing too much, but regardless, the way she's doing the chorus and her flow and everything, plus the beat, is very good by itself. Take the lyrics out of it. I enjoy it. I enjoy how she sounds. I enjoy her melody. And just the way, like the flow, just the way it sounds. Forget the words. I love how it sounds. But then you start adding in what she's talking about. And the reason I say that is because sometimes, actually a lot of times, when you get into these songs that are talking about deep subject matter, you can almost tell by listening to it, like, okay, this is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to, for instance, Disturbed, whenever they have a song with very, very deep meaning, you can tell, because it's almost like on Evolution, they had each of the songs that they had on that album that were pretty deep and meaningful. Not to say all of them, but I'm just saying, primarily, you listen to it and it's super slow. It's almost got like a beautiful, you know, kind of melody to it and stuff like that. And you can just tell when a song is meant to be, okay, this is one you're supposed to really enjoy, and this is one where it's supposed to be super slow and all that other stuff. This one has a lot of meaning, but it's not a monorail. You know what I mean by that? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not like, okay, this is beautiful, but apart from that, I would never really want to listen to this song. Because it's not grabbing me, it's not upbeat. that's how it is a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if it's meant to be meaningful, they slow it down so much where you're like, well, good thing that it's very meaningful and a beautiful song, because otherwise this wouldn't really grab me.
Right.
But this, if you weren't paying attention, you could miss this stuff and think this is just another, catchy little groove here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not slow. She's rapping like crazy. Her flow, she's changed it up multiple different times. The beat is pretty upbeat, So I'm just saying that's absolutely crazy. And then the other part of it is the line that she finished with here: spent half my life trying to find my light from outside sources, while the only voice that mattered came from me. Thank you, please. Thank you. Please, everybody, take note of that and don't just let it go in one ear and out the other, because that is absolutely incredible to say something like that, and especially, coming from an artist like this, like a rap artist and stuff, to hear her say something like that is amazing, because that is so true. You know what I mean? When you spend your life trying to get approval from other people, you're never going to, you're never going to be happy, because no matter what you do, you're never going to please everybody.
Nope.
And so if you put more weight in that than in anything else, you're just set up for failure. No matter what you do, no matter what you plug in for X, the equation is always going to equal 0. You're just going to be miserable most of your life, because you're never going to be able to satisfy people, and the ones that you are able to satisfy, well, then after a while, that won't be good enough, and you'll need to satisfy more, and you'll just always run into this problem. But the only voice that mattered came from me. It doesn't matter what other people think. If I'm happy, if I'm living my life the way I want to, if I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish, who has the right to tell me otherwise? Or who has the right to say that that's not good enough or anything like that? Nobody, right? So that is absolutely amazing to say something like that. That's very, very powerful words.
No, I would agree.
Who's got the...
No, in essence, that's what exactly she's saying is, don't let other people determine your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's going to be a lot of closed doors in your life, and you just got to keep on knocking to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So no, truly powerful stuff. So let's move on.
Who's got the right to tell you that?
Nobody.
It's your right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Outside sources, why the only voice that mattered came from me.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who
See,
you
but this is
are.
what I'm talking about. Like, just take the words out of it. This is super catchy. I was listening to this.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her. Cause you're so damn fine just the way you
Rock
are.
go man, she too aggressive, that's too masculine. And her content little too obsessive, just relax a bit. She say she God, that's narcissistic, just the facts of it. Now I don't really F with female rappers, that's just sacrilege. Glad I learned early not to internalize every income. Daddy told me with every opinion there comes a sphincter. And they would rather she them thoughts than popularize the thinker. Why them lying archetypes is chasing cat, I'm trying to stink her. Rather
Oh my God. So to start out this verse, she's basically highlighting what she just said. She said, when Rock go in, she too aggressive, that's too masculine. So when Rock, she's saying Sa-Roc. That's her, the name of the rapper. So when Sa-Roc go in, she too aggressive, that's too masculine. And her content a little too obsessive, just relax a bit. She says she God, that's narcissistic, just the facts of it. Now I don't really F with female rappers, that's sacrilege. I mean, that's all basically what she's saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are all opinions floating around about her out there. And, you know, those are all things that if she held on to inside instead of worrying about...
She wouldn't be where she is.
No, she wouldn't be able to, because no matter what she does, you know, she's too masculine if she, you know, does this, but then, you know, she's not being real if she does that, or you're never going to appease everybody. Then she said, glad I learned early not to internalize every ink up. Daddy told me with every opinion, which it's opinion, but she said opinion, there comes a sphincter, and they would rather see them thoughts than popularize a thinker. While them lion archetypes is chasing cat, I'm trying to sphinx her. So that whole pyramid scheme right there was insane. But she's saying in that, I mean, this line right here, and they would rather see them thoughts than popularize a thinker. So obviously that right there is a play on thoughts. Like when you're thinking something, you have a thought. But obviously a thought, that's another word for like a hoe or something. THOTS, thoughts.
Well, she's basically saying they would rather show somebody that's got looks than has brains.
Exactly.
The fact that she has brains and can actually put stuff like this out and put it together in this fashion sets her apart from those people.
Exactly. If you listen to this, not only is this like a really good song, but you're learning something. Yeah. And this is something that can make you a better person just by hearing it. You know what I mean? If you were to take some of these things and apply them to your life, or learn from her example, I guess, you know, alternatively, you could actually, this is actually something that could impact your life. Whereas a lot of that stuff is just, you know, whatever, eye candy. You know what I mean? So that was a crazy line, but of course the whole Sphinx, lion archetypes, I mean lion, Sphinx, pyramid, I mean, just insane.
No, that's great. It's really good.
Absolutely insane. All right, let's keep it going.
Daddy told me with every opinion there comes a sphincter, and they would rather she them thoughts than popularize a thinker. While them lying archetypes is chasing cat, I'm trying to sphinx her. Rebel skin caramello, apparel maybe vintage. Meryl composer walking, yes, sir, every verse became a vintage. Went through too much hair to not be fine, but they still feigning ignorance. So now I came to click my just do it, remaining anxious. Baby, I'm a star without the flash frame of Fenty. Came out the doctor up the entire game upon my entry. Kept it 100, messed around and gained another century in this. Now I'm aiming to pop off to my mental chambers empty. I'm unbothered, your standards is irrelevant. I might F around and rock a body, all this for the hell of it. They've been trying to martyr me for ages cause my melanin. So now I'm soaking UV rays with shaking slathered on my element. I do, I'm magic, my game is guidance, my mood is savage, that's game is kindness, my moves and matters, my range astonishing, dangerous, silence like rain, and comets they blazing. Trails and planets, all hell is kind of amazing. That's right, we'll call it self now. Discovered I was dope and indoors like I'm scale drugs. And you could call me arrogant and that's gonna help me. But if you're trying to knock me down, your demolitions fell, bruh, fell, bruh, fell, bruh, fell.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let her, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
I absolutely love the part when the beat changes up a little bit and she starts going absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was definitely that was a nice song for sure.
They've been trying to martyr me for ages because of my melanin, so now I'm soaking UV rays with shea slathered on my abdomen. My dude, I'm magic, my gang is goddess, my mood is savage, that's Genghis Khan. These bars move and mountains My range, astonishing, dangerous sonnets like rain and comets I blaze and trails through planets all hail this kind of amazing. I mean, that was just, what?
Yeah.
That whole part was just like, you know, trying to follow her along is just like, oh man, that was insane. But
she's definitely gifted.
I mean, even at the end here, she said, "That's right, we'll call it self-love. Discovered I was dope and indulged like upscale drugs, and you can call me arrogant if that's gonna help, love. But if you trying to knock me down, your demolitions failed, bruv." Which I think is another word of just saying bruh, essentially. Yeah. But I mean, even that part right there is like, hey, call me whatever you want, but you know, I'm me, and I'm not looking for your approval or.
No, I'm good with it.
Because
that's what she's saying. I'm good with myself.
I'm comfortable in my own skin, and no matter what you have to say, if I cared what you had to say, then or anytime I start to, I just look at the scars, and they remind me that no matter what, the sky's the limit on what I can do and what I'm capable of, no matter what anybody thinks. The messaging in here, like I said at the beginning, is something that I think a lot of people really need to listen to, and I think this is the kind of song that you should have heard before. Like this isn't one that should be unknown to people. This is one that should be, everybody's heard it, because if this kind of song right here was popular and everyone had heard it, it could really help, I think. I mean, this kind of messaging is what really needs to be pushed to the forefront, especially during like COVID times and stuff, because people are going through a lot, and especially nowadays with people in their OnlyFans and all these Instagram models and stuff like that. It just seems like in Facebook and social media and everything, the pressure to be perfect is only higher and higher and higher and higher and higher as the years go on. I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't, you know, similar things going on when you were a kid or anything, but I'm just saying it seems like nowadays it's getting even worse because of the rise of technology and the ability to have your picture all over.
There's a lot more ways to hurt people than there used to be.
Yeah, exactly. And the ability for your one picture, whether you wanted it taken or not, to be on the World Wide Web for anybody and everybody to see in the press of a button, you know, it's just insane. And I mean, it really just tells me, like, man, if more people had heard this, you know, it maybe could have really helped them.
I would agree with, like, I mean, when you break the song down like we have, where you can go in and actually look at the lyrics, because her flow is so good, sometimes you may not have
even noticed,
heard.
Yeah.
You may have listened, but you didn't hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, especially people that have nice flow like this, where it's just kind of blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
one after another that she's going into, you can miss the whole subject of the song.
Yeah.
Because you're not really paying attention to the words. You're just listening to the melody and the rhythm of the music. But this is a song where, like he said, I mean, if you actually go in and you look at the content of the song, he's right. There's a lot to be learned from listening to it. But for most people, they're probably going to put this on their play. They're going to have this play on the radio, and when you ask them what the song was about when it's done, they wouldn't be able to tell you, because the background music and everything, like you said, is fairly catchy. The song moves along nicely. It's got nice flow. I mean, for guys that are willing to sit down and do what we just did, which is, let's take this line by line,
essentially, yeah,
and look at it for what it is. I mean, it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and definitely a worth a listening.
Yeah.
You know, and I probably will listen to it again, just because that first time you listen to anything, you just are kind of captivated by the way things are going in the song. And
yeah, well, and we kept on pausing it too. So I mean, that's one thing about these reaction videos, guys, too, that you got to remember is when we listen to this stuff for the first time, we're pausing it after every little bit to talk about it and stuff. But you also got to remember, just imagine you're listening to this and it's just playing through nonstop. And you're like, wow, that was crazy. Holy crap, whoa! You know what I mean? Just line after line after line. Like that Lemon Pepper freestyle by King Los that we did. I mean, we kept on having to stop it, but you just listen to it without stopping it the whole way through, and you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Caught that, whoa, you know what I mean? And that's similar to this. I mean, we kept on pausing it because there was some crazy stuff, but you just let it play all the way through, and you're getting hit with one thing after another, and it's meaningful, and it's powerful, and
But
it's like, wow.
it's going at such a pace too, though, where you really can't digest it all
Yeah.
in one listen. There's no way.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, there's parts of this song that even though we were stopping it, there's parts of it that if I listened to it again, I would have not have heard this time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, great piece of music there. Truly glad that I was a part of this video.
Yeah.
You know, Sa-Roc, nice job on this. I hope, you know, everybody that's watching this video enjoyed this. This was the first time I've ever heard of her or heard any of her music. Truly amazing. Like I said, I'm not much into the rap scene, so a lot of these people that we're listening to I have never even heard of. So, but man, that was truly enjoyable. You know, I mean, the way I look at this is you gotta keep an open mind when you are doing these type of videos and stuff like that, because you may be impressed with something that you never thought you would be. You know, and it's easy to always like paint a picture of, you know, like paint rap as a bad thing, and you want to listen to that. You don't want your kids listening to it. All they talk about is sex, drugs, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely stereotypes.
Right, where if you actually sit down and you break down the lyrics when you look at these songs, now there is a portion of some of that stuff like we just said, but when you actually are able to sit down and break it down and look at the music, I mean, there's actually a lot of meaning and a lot of life experiences that people are talking about in these songs. And truly amazing. Very happy to have been part of this video. And, you know, thank you for allowing me to do it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think, like you said, I mean, that's really something that you gotta think of, because there is definitely those stereotypes out there, especially where rap is concerned. She said in the song, you know, they'd rather popularize these, you know, not even just females, but even the guys, you know, the guys that every time they release music, they got a hot beat, and you watch the music video, and there's nothing but chicks in bikinis. I mean, I'm just saying that there's probably a fair number of people that watch these videos and, you know, get excited to watch these videos, and just listening to these artists, a lot of them, they talk about how many women they've had sex with. I mean, that's on the mainstream, especially like these Migos and these type of guys, how big their schlong is, and, you know, these kind of things like that, which, you know, and like she said, I mean, you know, that stuff is popular, but a song like this that, you know, is actually really meaningful and powerful and has great meaning to it, you never hear. I mean, you never even heard of the artist, let alone the song.
Right.
So it's like they'd rather popularize all that other stuff that should not be, you know,
most people
popularized.
and most people are going to categorize it and not give it a listen, regardless of if it's something that's rap.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
Well, yeah, because of the stereotypes of everything that's popular. I mean, the stuff that's popular, that is exactly what it is, pretty much. And so as a result, they're like, why the hell would I want to listen to more of that? And like you said, they won't even give this stuff a chance, because they're like, oh, all rap is just that. And, you know, that's kind of a closed-minded way of thinking about it, but when all you ever hear in the radio and the stuff that is in music videos and stuff is just these guys talking about absolutely nothing and using disgusting language a lot of times, what do you expect people to think? You know? I mean, and if rap's not their thing, what do you want them to do? Go out of their way to listen to stuff until they find something they like? That's not realistic.
No.
It's not realistic to say, oh, well, That's because you haven't given it a fair shot. Here's 15 artists to go listen to.
Yeah.
When
Well,
rap is not their thing. I mean, it's just...
Well, you're not going to please everybody. She
No,
just
you're
said
not
that
gonna-
in the song, so I mean, she knows that.
Yeah.
You know, and
But, you know, I think to her credit, I think what she managed to do with this song, just like you said, if you're really not paying attention, this is still a song that somebody that is not really listening to the lyrics or listening to the song for the lyrics can still enjoy it. But the people that really want some depth in the writing and some lyricism and some meaningful words and use of words and stuff like that, they can definitely get behind it too. So she kind of satisfied both markets a little bit. Because, like I said before, I would listen to this regardless of what she was talking about because I really enjoy the song. But then when you compile that with the fact that she's really, you know, she's really preaching, preaching to
well,
you.
and the thing that she does well, in my opinion as well, is that she doesn't have to go down the road of using all kinds of vulgar language and, you know, the F this and F that and, you know,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. I mean, she keeps it on the clean side
yeah.
and gives it meaning, and I mean, it's as appetizing to me as anything else I've listened to. So
Yeah, it's meaningful, and like you said, you know, there's not an F-bomb every other word and stuff. I mean, there was a couple of, you know, shits and stuff like that in there, but for the most part, it didn't need that to get the message across.
yeah, no,
And-
she did a good job, I thought.
And like you said, that's more appealing too to some people because that's the other issue is, you know, you listen to stuff and it's like, well, you know, he's definitely talented, but, you know, when I have to listen to F this and, you know, the N word every other word and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to have my kids listening to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So-
not stuff that I'm going to want to play in front of anybody or show anybody because they might be offended by the language and stuff. It makes it very hard to be palatable, but this is palatable to a general, you know, pretty much anybody could listen to this and, you know, they don't, probably won't be turned off by just the language, forget anything else, you know. So, great song, wonderful. I was really, really glad and I really wanted to react to this on the channel. For one, because it's a meaningful song and I think if you guys have never heard this and you're subscribed, definitely give it a listen on your own. And definitely, you know, give Sa-Roc a follow. And also, just to show support for artists like Sa-Roc that most people have never heard of, but, you know, come out with a song like this that truly has some depth and wisdom into how to make your life better. And, you know, not just, you know, talking about the usual mumbo jumbo of rap music. Really what a lot of this of rap is nowadays is it's just people trying to earn a quick buck and it's a money grab because they know that they don't have to have any real lyrical ability and all they need is just the right beat maker and they'll be hot overnight. So, you know, shout out to Sa-Roc, shout out to you know, all of our subscribers who have been rocking with us for a while. If you're a fan of rap music, you know, this is the kind of thing that there needs to be more of it, and the way that you get more of it is by supporting the artists that do it, because, you know, otherwise it's always just going to be shooting and killing on the mainstream and sex and drugs, and, you know, these kind of artists will never really make it. So make sure you support her music and stuff like that, and we'll definitely have to check out some more from her on this channel. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. If you are a Sa-Roc fan and would like to request that we do another song or have any suggestions for us to get into another song from her, go ahead and drop that in the comments too. We'll be anticipating getting back to her on this channel. So make sure you leave a suggestion for us on, you know, what would be a next step. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm Bryson.
I'm Steve.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.